The last boards, in the small town of Coldwater, there was a local radio station, WCHD 13.6, that had been abandoned for decades. The station was once the heart of the community, playing music, hosting talk shows, and announcing local news. But one night in 1985, during a live broadcast, the signal abruptly cut off, and the station was never heard from again. Rumors spread about what happened that night. Some said the DJ went insane, others claimed something supernatural had taken over the airwaves. Fast forward to the present day. Mike, a 21-year-old journalism student, stumbled upon the story while researching urban legends for his podcast. Intrigued, he decided to investigate. Armed with a recorder, a flashlight, and his curiosity, he ventured to the old WCHD building on the outskirts of town. The station was a crumbling relic, overgrown with ivy and surrounded by a chain-linked fence. Mike climbed through a hole in the fence and entered the building. The air inside was thick with dust, and the faint smell of mildew lingered. Old vinyl records and cassette tapes were scattered across the floor, and the walls were covered in faded posters from the 80s. That Mike made his way to the control room, where the equipment sat untouched, as if frozen in time. He set up his recorder and began narrating. Quote, Stefan's girl, Frances Mareg, did not see each other again, end quote, as the air inside the record room lingered. This is Mike Carter reporting live from the abandoned WCHD radio station, where the infamous last broadcast took place. Let's see if we can uncover the truth. As he spoke, the old radio equipment crackled to life. A faint, distorted voice came through the speakers, repeating the same phrase over and over. Help us, we're still here. Mike froze. Hello? Who's there? He called out, his voice trembling. The voice on the radio grew louder, more desperate. Then, static filled the room, followed by an eerie silence. Suddenly, the lights in the building flickered, and the temperature dropped. Mike's breath fogged in the air as he heard faint whispers echoing through the halls. He grabbed his flashlight and turned toward the door, but it slammed shut on its own. The whispers grew louder, overlapping and forming words. You shouldn't have come, they said in unison. Mike's heart raced as he tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. In the corner of the room, a shadowy figure began to take shape. It was humanoid but featureless, with glowing red eyes that pierced through the darkness. The figure moved closer, and the radio equipment sparked and hissed. Mike backed into the wall, his flashlight flickering. What do you want? He shouted. The figure raised a hand, and the whispers turned into a deafening roar. Mike covered his ears as the room seemed to warp around him, the walls bending and twisting. In a final burst of static, everything went dark. The next morning, Mike's friends found his car parked outside the station, but he was nowhere to be found. His recorder was discovered in the control room, still running. The last thing it captured was his terrified voice saying, They're not gone, they're still here. The recording went viral, sparking debates about whether it was real or a hoax. But those who listened closely claimed to hear faint whispers in the background as if the voices from WCHD were still trying to break through. To this day, no one knows what really happened to Mike or the station. But locals swear that if you tune your radio to 13.6 at exactly midnight, you'll hear the last broadcast and the voices of those who never left.